Hi, everybody out in virtual world. I'm Tina from Powell's Books, and we are really excited to have you here for virtual Storytime. Today we have author Blair Thornburgh and illustrator Kate Berube. They are going to present their new picture book, Second Banana. The kids in Mrs. Millet's class have received their roles for the annual nutrition pageant. Every kid plays a food, and it is a big deal. But this year, there aren't quite enough parts to go around. So the class is cast fish, cheese, broccoli, blueberry, banana, and second banana. Second banana feels rotten. She wants to be the only banana. In their deliciously original school story, Thornburgh and Berube recognize the dreadful disappointment that a casting list can cause, as well as the power of friendship, creative thinking, and a good attitude to turn a rotten situation into one that's quite appealing. It's showtime. So we are gonna let Kate and Blair take it away. Thank you. And I'm gonna switch over into speaker view for you now.
Okay.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
All right. Well, hi everyone in virtual land. We're really excited to do this. It's very fun to be able to be together on different coasts and with Powell. So I'm going to go ahead and read this book, which is called Second Banana. Can you guys see me okay? I'm not sure if it's coming through on my end, but maybe, Kate, do you mind going on mute so that it doesn't pop you by accident? And I'll do the same. That work? Okay, great. So this book is called Second Banana. The words are by me, Blair, and the pictures are by Kate. And so you can see it's very shiny. And I'm going to do my best to show the pictures. So here we go. Oh, this one has stickers in it. Cool. All right. Okay, Second Banana. Every year, the 15 kids in Mrs. Millet's class put on the famous Food is Fun, Healthy Eating, Good Nutrition pageant. Every kid plays a food. Every kid gets a line. It is a big deal. But this year, we have 16 kids. That is a big deal too. Mrs. Millet has a plan. Don't worry, class. I need every last one of you. Your families will love it. You'll see. We all get our roles. Bread, rice, fish, cheese, broccoli, carrot, chicken, sugar, butter, pea, eggplant, pepper, blueberry, pineapple, banana, and guess who ends up having to share? Second banana. I do not want to be second banana. I want to be the only banana. Second banana only gets half a line. Second banana barely fits on stage. Second banana is just not special. Mrs. Millet doesn't understand. Don't you worry, you'll be like peas in a pod. 2 peas? That makes sense. But we don't have 2 pea costumes. We only have 2 banana costumes. And I do not want to be second banana. My family doesn't help. This part is ripe for acting, says Mom. It's such an appealing role, says Dad. Just don't slip and fall, says my sister. Not funny. But I do not want to be second banana, I tell them. I want to be the only banana. I feel rotten. All month long, we rehearse the Food is Fun, Healthy Eating, Good Nutrition pageant. Bread and rice give you pep and power. Broccoli and cheese build bones and teeth. Sugar and butter are used sparingly. Second banana has potassium too. That's it. 3 little words, and one is hard to say. We rehearse over and over and over and over until, Get excited, class, says Mrs. Millet. Just 2 days to go, the best pageant yet. I am not excited. I still feel rotten. And it looks like First Banana does too. Even with the better part and more lines and more to do and more time on stage. I didn't want to be second banana, I whisper. I wanted to be the only banana. First Banana whispers back, I don't want to be on stage at all. At all? Oh my goodness. But every kid plays a food. Every kid gets a line. It is a big deal. And I don't want First Banana to feel rotten. This part is ripe for acting, I tell her. It's such an appealing role. I won't let you slip and fall. First Banana still does not look sure. But the show is tomorrow, so I find Mrs. Millet because I have a plan. Let's change things up. A special finale. Our families will love it. You'll see. On the night of the show, the curtains flutter, the lights fill the stage, the crowd murmurs in their seats. The food is fun, healthy eating, good nutrition pageant is about to begin. Oh, dramatic page turn. Bread forgets her lines. Cheese misses his cue. Sugar and butter are used sparingly. But the crowd laughs and claps. They eat it up. And then it's time for dessert. We come out together, one on each side, with the back flap. Our show is now over, but before the end, remember it's great when you split with a friend. Check that out. Woo. The end. Ooh. All right, so that is Second Banana. Thank you for the applause, Kate. And so I was the one who wrote the words, and I'll just say that, you know, if anyone is a future kid actor, has been in a school play, you probably know what it's like to really want to be a particular part, and only one person can be each. So that's what made me think about this. I also thought it would be really fun to have a lot of kids in food costumes, which is one of my favorite things about all of Kate's art. And I really enjoyed writing this because I thought, you know, when I was a kid, I got really frustrated very easily when things didn't go my way. But I also didn't like seeing other people feel bad about something. And so I liked that I was able to take this little story and, you know, make it goofy and silly, and there's a lot of banana jokes in it, but still talk a little bit about, you know, how you can make the most of a situation and not give in to your rotten attitude. So yeah, I really enjoyed reading to you. I hope you liked it. And I think Kate next is going to talk a little about her art and then afterwards do some live drawing. So she asked if anyone has a favorite food that they maybe want to see in costume form to just pop it in the chat. And then when she's doing her live drawing, she can try a couple out. So I think that's over to you, Kate.
Am I unmuted? Okay. Hi. Thank you to everyone who's watching us live or watching a recording later. It's really fun to do a virtual event. We haven't done very many, and since we live across the country from each other, I live in Portland and Blair lives in Pennsylvania, it's really fun to be able to you know, do this, not have to fly an airplane. So I just have a pile of drawings I'm gonna flip through and talk a little bit about how I make a book, how I make the illustrations for a book. So I always start with characters. So I love the story right away. As an illustrator, you just get the words. They don't tell you what words go on what page or what any of the characters look like. You get to make all those decisions yourself, so it's really fun. This is some of my first drawings of what Second Banana would look like. I really wanted to experiment with drawing emotions. So here is a character upset and really excited. She's upset a lot. So I did a lot of drawings of upset, frustrated kids, which is just really fun to draw. It's fun to draw emotions. After I figured out what she was going to look like and what some of the other characters were going to look like, I realized I had to figure out how their costumes would look. So I went and bought some bananas, or I'm sure we had some because my daughter was obsessed with bananas. She was 2 when I was making this book, or maybe she was 1, I guess, when I started. But so I did these paintings of real bananas just to sort of really think about what bananas look like in order to start thinking about what the costume would look like. And then I drew some kids in banana costumes, and I did a lot of these. I'm just showing you a few, trying to figure out, you know, how long the end would be and where the feet would stick out and all those little details. And in the end, I came up with our 2 main characters in their costumes. So here they are, my final sort of sketches. And then I had the fun job of coming up with all the other fruits and vegetables, and I got to choose which fruits and vegetables and other foods were going to be in the book. So I just did a lot of drawings of food just to see what would be fun to draw. So here's an egg, and I did do a pickle, even though I knew it wasn't going to make the book, but I love pickles. So it's a pickle guy. I'm pretty fond of this cabbage. I'm a little sad she didn't make it in there. Beets. Thought about water for a while because, you know, water is one of the really important things that we should consume. Avocado, lots of people requested. Apples, artichokes. But I drew lots more, and I pared it down to the ones that are in the book, like broccoli here. And then I had to decide for the page that shows them without their costumes on what all the kids will look like without their costumes on. So I did that. So here's the pepper in and out of her costume. Once I had all the characters figured out, then I started sketching out in pencil what pictures would be on which page. And that takes me a really long time. That takes the longest of everything. And here's like sort of a little sheet I made for myself with tiny little drawings. So you can see here, I'm not going to show you them all, but just to give you a sense of how much time and energy it takes to make a book. These are like just some of the sketches of the pencil sketches of what's in there. You can see so many drawings. Here's one I can show you. Sugar and butter. Once I had that all sorted out, I put it in the computer and made a teeny tiny book. So I could see what would happen when I turned the pages. You can recognize that page. So there's my little book. And then I went ahead and made the paintings. And I draw the ink lines first. This is one that has a little bit of paint on it, the yellow, but you can see otherwise how it starts. It looks just like lines. And I draw the lines with something sort of strange. And if we were in person, I would ask you to guess. But since we're not, I'm just going to show you. I use these to draw with. These are really for cooking, but I found that they draw really cool wobbly lines. They're bamboo skewers. And I take the skewer and I put it in my ink. I just dip it in and then I can draw. And it makes these really fun wobbly lines. You can see they're sort of hard to control, and I like that. Once I get the drawing, sometimes like here, this is the same picture over and over. It takes me many tries to get the right color and the right drawing all together. So this wasn't quite right. This wasn't quite right. This wasn't quite right. The final one I don't have because it's still at the publisher's office in New York. I mailed it to them for them to get it ready to go in the book. Yeah, what else was I going to talk about? Oh, and then I'm going to do a little drawing. And we'll answer some questions at the end. If you're thinking of any questions you want to ask, you can put them in the question place. And do you want to tell me some of the drawing ideas people said?
Yeah, so can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Cool. So we did have a request for artichoke. So I saw that you had an artichoke in one of your costumes there. And then fish stick.
Fish stick.
Fish stick, yeah. And then a request for a banana, a live drawn banana.
The original, yes. Yeah. Okay.
So
I'll start with a fish stick. Is there any more?
That's it for now, but I guess if anyone else has a food suggestion.
Any more come in? Fish stick. I haven't eaten a fish stick in a long time. Okay. Feel like I'll start with the shape of the fish stick. It's going to be kind of wobbly on the outside because that's the breading, right? There we go. And there's a little fat. It's a fat fish stick. Let's see. Yeah, coming up with all of the foods was one of the funnest part of making this book. I had people send me ideas. Let's see. Folder like this. Curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
Fish stick is easier to draw than the salmon I put in the book. We actually have done fish sticks. Draw some teeth. And what do we need still? We need legs. You see?
Great.
There we go. A little fish stick for you.
Yes, we did get another request.
Okay.
Ice cream cone.
Ice cream cone. I need new paper. Hold on. Maybe I'll do a banana and ice cream cone, and then I'll call it a day.
It's very much on brand with the ending of the story. Your ice cream and your bananas.
There you go. Okay, a banana should be able to do pretty easily, right? Done a lot of them. We talked a lot when I was talking to my editor about the characters, that the second banana costume should look a little bit like an older banana, like more bruised, more brown, which I thought was kind of funny.
It is. It's got a couple more spots.
I also really tried to just pick the foods based on the food plate, if you've ever heard of that. It's a new, instead of a food pyramid, it's sort of the new healthy eating guideline that the government has put out, and you're supposed to have mostly vegetables on your plate, and then fruit, and then some carbs and some protein. So I tried to divide up the food in our play, sort of equally amounts of those things. Oh, this makes me want soft serve ice cream.
I'm gonna say soft serve is my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Keep forgetting to leave a little spot for the arm. No, we'll have to go get ice cream after we watch this, right?
Yeah.
Or a banana split, which I haven't made. I need to make one.
Should do that too.
Okay, there you have a banana and some ice cream.
That's awesome. I remembered something that I really like about the pictures, and now that I'm done reading, I'm just going to put it back up. I don't know if I'm seeable, but
Yeah.
this page with the family eating dessert, they're having banana splits, which is clever because if you can see it there, it's not hiding, but you don't know the ending the first time you read it, and so I think that's one really fun thing, is getting to see all the little details in the pictures the more you read your book. Even if you wrote it, there are going to be surprises when you see the pictures, so that's super cool. So yeah, I guess if anyone has questions, there's like a little Q&A thing. Um, but I know um, a lot of times people are curious about how Kate and I both work on the book, especially because, as you can see, we don't live near each other. Um, yeah, I don't know, Kate, do you want to talk about our process as?
Yeah, so that's a question that you get asked a lot as an illustrator, how it is working with the writer. And a lot of people don't know that we don't actually really work together. So the publisher bought the story from Blair, and then they decided who would illustrate it. So the publisher gets to choose the illustrator usually. And they wrote to me and they said, "You want to illustrate this book?" And I said, "Yes, definitely." I loved it right away. Um, and then I only really talked to my editor and the publisher while I was working on it. And we met at the end of the process.
Yeah, we met virtually like this, basically. Yeah,
Did they send you? Sometimes they send the author samples of the illustrator's work before they hire them.
They sent me some of your note cards with like the kid in the sun costume, which is really great. Yes, exactly that one. And so we really like Kate, and we think her art is so perfect for this story. And I was like, totally agreed. I think it's really exciting because, I work on the story. I try different things when, the story is so short, and I know what happens in it. I know the story part of the story, but the words get really important. And so I work definitely making sure that each part makes sense. We changed some names, like Mrs. Millet used to be Mrs. Muesli, but that's kind of hard to spell. So we went back. And then, after I am satisfied and my editor thinks the words look good, then I just kind of sit tight and let Kate do all of the work that you saw with her drawings and sketches and her dummies. And then they send me these pictures, and it's so cool because then it's like a real story. And I think, maybe people are surprised sometimes that we don't go back and forth or anything like that. But I personally really like it because I'm not an artist, I'm a writer. And so I love to just see an artist do, what they do. And the surprise is really fun too. Like you get that email and you're like, oh, I can't wait. So, we have another question. How did you get interested in writing and drawing? Kate, you want to?
I went to school right out of high school. I went to art school for painting and drawing, and I always loved to draw. I have drawings from when I was in kindergarten that, what do you want to be when you grow up? And it says, I want to be an artist. So I always loved to draw, and I went to art school and I did everything. I did sculpture and printmaking and oil painting and landscapes and figure. I did all the different things. I guess I didn't do any children's book illustration classes in school. My school didn't have those, but I went to the Art Institute of Chicago. And then when I graduated, I actually took a class the next year at Washington College, Columbia College, a continuing studies class on children's book illustration with a children's book illustrator. And I kind of fell in love, but I wasn't sure. It's kind of daunting to get into this industry. So it was sort of on the back burner for like 10 years or so, maybe, 5 years. And then I took another class here in Portland when I moved here with Victoria Jameson, who wrote Roller Girl, and she has a new book. Do I have it right here? I do. I'm going to show you because this book is so good. This is a beautiful, beautiful book. She wrote she illustrated this and worked with a Somali refugee, Omar Mohammed. It's his story of living in a refugee camp and moving to America. It's such a good book. Anyway, so her class was amazing, and I just took lots of classes and eventually became an illustrator. Oh, the part I'm leaving out is I was a nanny, and when I was in my 20s, and it kind of really made me excited about kids' books and made me realize that making landscape paintings and oil paintings wasn't satisfying, but somehow like telling stories for kids felt really, really meaningful. So I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And I also write. I also am a writer. I've written a couple of my own picture books.
I'm with you. I think like it's just so fun to write for kids because I love telling these stories. I mean, you can't go to like a very serious grown-up writing school and be like, I have written this book about kids in banana costumes. What do you think? They'll be like, no, no. So I had been making books since I was a kid. I mean, as soon as you get some paper and pencil, you can just fold it like Kate did with her little second banana version and just go to town. And then I learned that if you want like lots of people to read your book, you need a publisher who will make a lot of copies of it, and then it can get everywhere. So I was like, all right. So just kept writing really my whole life. I went to school in Chicago too. I went to the University of Chicago, did a little dabbling in medieval history that has nothing to do with my children's books, and then I went to school for writing children's books, and it was the best because I got to take stories that are not serious and work on them with really smart people. And eventually I got to have some publishers put out some books, and that has been really exciting. And I think I'm very lucky because I was raised with many, many children's books. My mom is an illustrator, and so I have always had tons and tons and tons. Even when I was like a teenager, I would still be reading picture books. It was super cool. And I just always knew, you know, like you, Kate, I probably have something somewhere that says I want to make books when I was a kid. But my recommendation to all parents in the audience, if there are any, is keep all your kids, not all your kids' stuff, there's too much, but you know, those little books and the drawings that they make, it's really special if they end up becoming people who make books, because then they can talk about it and, you know, have cool slides to put up when they go talk to other kids. And so, yeah, I just, you know, when you like to read, it's like you just so really want to be the person who also makes the books, and it just feels like totally the right thing to do. Oh, we have another question. What other books did you write and draw? Well, you've written and drawn a whole book yourself.
I know. I could grab my little pile. Give me 1 second.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't even think to bring some of mine. Well, I have written one other picture book, which is called Skulls, and that has pictures by Scott Campbell, who did some really awesome skull artwork. It's all about skulls in your head. It is factual. It is all true. And then I have written 2 books for teenagers called Who's That Girl and Ordinary Girls. So I just love writing for kids. I can't really pick an age group, but those are my other ones.
I wish I had my ears to show, but I only have mine. These are the 2 that I've written. Hannah and Sugar is about a girl who is afraid of dogs. And May's first day of school is about a girl who's nervous on her first day of school, which is kind of appropriate for now, though probably some of the kids are not going to school in person this year. But these are some of the books that I illustrated. The sandcastle that Lola built is perfect for right now. It's written by Megan Maynor, and it's sort of like the house that Jack built, but it's a little girl building a sandcastle with a bunch of friends on the beach. My Little Half Moon is by Douglas Jenrick, and it's about a kid who tries to convince the half moon to become a full moon. And Summer, Nick Taught His Cats to Read is about a little guy who tries to teach his cats to read. And I'm gonna have a Vern takes to it very easily, but Stevenson here, Grumpy Stevenson, he doesn't like reading at first. This was written by Curtis Manley.
That's delightful. I like the name Stevenson for a cat.
Yes, and the cat loves books about fish. No, that's the book that loves books about pirates, like Robert Louis Stevenson, and Vern likes the books about fish, like Jules Verne books.
That's great. I don't see any other questions, so I guess this is speak now or forever hold your peace. If there are questions. But hey, Tina. So yeah, this was great. It was very nice to have you all here and to see Kate and to be hosted by Powell's. How cool.
Thank you. Thank you both for being here. It's fun. It's a strange way to do events, and I think it's really interesting, and it's nice to see other people's faces. So if there aren't any other questions or anything out there, I think we are done for today.
Thanks
Thank you,
everybody
everyone,
for listening.
Yeah.
Thanks, Powell's, and thanks, Tina.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Blair. Thank you, everyone out there in the audience. I can't see your face, so hopefully you're smiling. And we hope to see you again sometime soon. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.